So the British strategy was basically a three-part plan. First, it started by sea. The British set up a total exclusion zone, which was about a 200-mile radius around the islands, essentially preventing any sort of ship from entering that area. And anything that was an Argentinian naval vessel was a target. Then they set up basically a operating zone in the Falklands Sound where the Navy supported a land attack. And that land attack had a strategy of landing at San Carlos and then eventually moving their way to take over Stanley, where the airport was located. That was the ultimate goal. So there was kind of an interesting element of this kind of old world type of battle with this island of having some sort of final outcome or some sort of final objective. And ultimately that strategy worked because the British were able to go from sea using air support and air support raids from Ascension Island, which was a U.S. held island, and then eventually taking over the land. So what was the Argentinian strategy? Well, a lot of it was really just see how long they could keep this thing going to get the British to quit. And a part of this was kind of using the United States as a way to say like, well, we think the Americans will intervene because of kind of that Cold War mentality to tell Margaret Thatcher, of course Ronald Reagan being a big Cold War president, that she needed to stand down. Really, the Argentinians, all they had was numbers. They had more air force that was available to fly, which they decided to use as a way to attack the British Navy. But unfortunately, they were unable to stop the landfall at San Carlos and then eventually the takeover. They just did not have enough troops on the Falklands Island. And in fact, the reservists had never been called up in time to be able to support them on the land. And really the waiting game just never happened because the British were able to eventually take Stanley and the Argentinians had to back off. So ultimately there was a timeline of events that happened from about May 1st all the way into the end of August. And to help us tell that story, we're going to rely on Dora and soldiers.